Something unexpected is happening inside Labour, and it's catching Starmer's team completely off guard. As pressure mounts over one of the most controversial criminal cases in recent memory, a veteran MP has just broken ranks, and it's sending shockwaves through Westminster. What triggered this sudden rebellion, and why now? Stay tuned, let's break it down. But first, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more. A quiet rebellion is now stirring within the Labour Party, one that could soon turn into a national flashpoint. Labour MP Mary Glindon has made headlines this week after becoming the first sitting MP from Sir Keir Starmer's party to break ranks and support a motion calling for the release of Lucy Connelly. Glindon signed an early day motion, EDM, originally tabled by former Reform UK MP Rupert Lowe, signalling what could be the beginning of broader political support behind Connelly's case. Lucy Connelly was sentenced to 31 months in prison in October last year after pleading guilty to a charge of inciting racial hatred. Her post on X came just hours after a horrific tragedy, the brutal murder of 3 young girls at a Taylor Swift-themed dance event in Southport. The man responsible for that atrocity was Axel Rudakubana, a Rwandan national. In the aftermath of that attack, Connelly expressed her anger and grief in a raw, emotional social media post that quickly went viral. She was arrested, charged, and sentenced under hate speech legislation. Earlier this week, she lost an appeal to reduce her sentence, despite growing calls from the public and campaigners who believed the punishment was excessive, especially given the emotional shock in which the post was made. Now, Mary Glindon has taken the bold step of putting her name behind the motion to free Connelly. Speaking to The Telegraph, the MP explained that she was moved by Connelly's situation, not just the prison sentence, but the impact it's had on her family. I was very upset Lucy had lost her appeal, and that her young daughter would be without her mother for a longer period, Glindon said. She made it clear that her support for the motion isn't about politics, but about what she sees as fairness and compassion in a deeply human case. In my opinion, Lucy doesn't pose a threat to the public. She seems to be paying a heavy price for what she did. What makes Glindon's move even more significant is the context. Until now, no Labour MP had publicly supported Connelly. Former Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn did initially sign the same EDM, but later withdrew his name, possibly under pressure or due to concerns over public backlash. Glindon, however, has stood by her decision and is now the only current Labour MP on record backing the campaign. She acknowledged that Connelly's post was emotionally charged, saying, "Lucy's impetuous tweet was not only unthinkable, but vile in content," before adding important context. Connelly is a grieving mother who has experienced the pain of losing a child, something that Glindon believes could help explain the overwhelming reaction she had that night. She could be forgiven for a sudden, otherwise unthinkable reaction, one she quickly corrected. That final point has been echoed by many of Connelly's supporters, that her outburst was not premeditated, not organised, not part of any wider campaign, but an emotional response to the kind of tragedy that leaves many people shaken. It was, they argue, a moment of heartbreak and anger, not a true reflection of her character. The early day motion, though largely symbolic, could now gain traction. As more MPs become aware of the details surrounding Connelly's case, Glindon's support may give others permission to speak up too, especially those who believe the justice system is losing sight of intent, context, and the emotional state of ordinary people reacting to horrific events. For Sir Keir Starmer, this presents a sensitive challenge. Labour has positioned itself as a party of law and order, but also one that champions fairness, due process, and rehabilitation. Glindon's move puts that balance to the test. Whether others follow her lead or not, one thing is clear. Lucy Connelly's case is no longer just a legal matter, it's becoming a political one. A discussion not just about sentencing or social media, but about what it means to react as a human being in the face of horror, and whether there's still room in the justice system for context, mercy, and second chances. In other news, Sir Keir Starmer has claimed Nigel Farage and Kemi Badenoch are in the column with Russia, China, and Iran, as he confirmed his Chagos Islands surrender deal on Thursday. the Prime Minister told a press conference at the Armed Forces Northwood headquarters. It is worth reminding ourselves who is in favour of this treaty, this deal, and who's against it. In favour are all of our allies, the US, NATO, Five Eyes, India. Against it, Russia, China, Iran, and, surprisingly, the leader of the opposition and Nigel Farage are in that column alongside Russia, China, and Iran, rather than the column that has the UK and its allies in it. He also railed against how other approaches to secure the base have been tried over the years and they have failed. Boris Johnson failed in his efforts to endlessly delay, Starmer spat. Liz Truss then started the negotiation. We inherited a negotiation in which the principle of giving up UK sovereignty had already been conceded by the previous Tory government. After his remarks, Badenoch unleashed an incendiary rebuke to the Prime Minister. The Tory leader said, "It speaks volumes about this shameful Prime Minister that he attacks me instead of owning up to another wrong-headed, wasteful and dangerous deal. I make no apology for opposing this disgraceful Chagos sellout. At least £30 billion of taxpayers' money thrown away in a surrender tax, and likely much more. British territory handed over to a country aligned with China. Our national security needlessly weakened. All to appease the lawyers and activist elite Keir Starmer surrounds himself with. Other countries may nod along, but behind closed doors, they must think we've lost our minds. Labour is turning Britain into a global laughingstock. She was joined in her fury by a slew of high-profile figures on the British right. Her shadow education minister, Neil O'Brien, blasted, "Unreal. Billions given away purely because he craves the approval of fellow human rights lawyers." While a Tory party spokesman said, "Surrender, betrayal, madness. Keir Starmer has just made Britain poorer, smaller and less safe." And ex-Reform UK firebrand MP Rupert Lowe said, "Starmer has signed away the Chagos Islands. Defeat, surrender, humiliation, resign, Keir Starmer." In conclusion, the fallout from Keir Starmer's confirmation of the Chagos Islands deal has ignited a fierce political firestorm, exposing deep divisions across Britain's political spectrum. While the Prime Minister insists the agreement aligns the UK with its global allies and secures strategic interests, his critics, spanning the Conservative frontbench and right-wing populists, have condemned it as a capitulation that jeopardizes national security and squanders taxpayer money. With accusations flying and rhetoric intensifying, the controversy underscores how questions of sovereignty, security, and international alignment remain deeply contentious in the UK's political discourse. As this debate unfolds, its long-term implications for both domestic politics and Britain's global standing are only beginning to take shape. What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comments section below. If you've not yet already, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more British content. Thank you, take care, goodbye.